first day trying to do the vlog thing. Oh, doggy. Hi, buddy. You ready to go to work? No. Start by getting dressed and get out and do my pre-trip. And got a kind of a funky day today. I gotta finish this load I'm on in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think I've got like 1 or 2 pallets left to deliver there. And then I pick up in Baton Rouge later this afternoon. It is, well, tomorrow afternoon, morning really. It's 9 p.m. now. And gotta be in Baton Rouge by midnight to deliver the rest of this load. And then 10 a.m. which is gonna be a little tricky because I don't want to mess up my clock so I can get it delivered, but we'll figure it out. That picks up 10 o'clock in the morning, delivers the next day, Fort Worth, Texas, at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I got another load to pick up. Basically, as soon as I deliver that one in Fort Worth, I got to go pick up the next load, park my truck, and be done for the day. And then go on from there. But get dressed, go do my pre-trip, get on the road. I just kind of moved into this truck recently, so I don't really have everything in its place. I just kind of have stuff in bags still. I'll get around to eventually setting up everything the way I like it and where I can access it all. It's a kind of a challenge. I don't know if you've ever lived in a sleeper booth in a semi, but there's not a lot of space. When I get the thing organized the way I really want it, I'll maybe do a tour, kind of show how I set my truck up. It's a balance between, you know, comfort and having everything you need, because you can't afford to be buying food out of truck stops. That stuff is super expensive and really, really unhealthy. These new boots are still a little hard to get on. My first 6 years, I ate truck stop food because I just was lazy and I didn't have a reliable refrigerator or any of that, so I ended up eating a lot of truck stop food, and I gained 90 pounds. About 2 years ago, I made a pretty big change in the way I eat, and I ended up losing about 50 of those pounds, and I've still got a lot of ways to go, but it slowed down a lot. It takes some time, but I'm trying to do better and eat less crap and all that stuff. So I'm gonna finish getting dressed, make sure I got everything on me, and then go do this pre-trip. I'll start by, I gotta take these sunscreens out of my windows, because if I don't put these things up, if I'm in direct sunlight, my air conditioner can be full blast, running as hard as it can, and it won't keep up. It'll just be hot and miserable in the truck all day. I sleep in the day a lot because I drive at night a lot, and a lot of drivers prefer daytime driving. I'm not one of them, because I don't like sitting in traffic. I'd rather get the miles in and get down the road than sit in traffic all day. Oh, go ahead and crank her up. Sometimes these trailers lose air pressure while I'm sitting in a sleeper boat. So while I'm doing my pre-trip, I let it idle, build up air pressure. See there, it's giving me all the low air warnings and all that. Alright, let's get the dog on a leash and his lights on and go do a pre-trip. Caffeine. Alright. I'll show you what I do for a pre-trip. Wait, but if you ask DOT, you're supposed to look over every inch of your truck first thing in the morning before you start your day. Now, I'll tell you why I don't do that. Because I check my truck over several times a day. Every time I stop, if I stop for fuel or use bathroom break, whatever, I'll check my truck. I got to get fuel every day, and that's always a great time to open the hood, check the oil, check all the suspension parts, check the brakes, and give the tires a once over, make sure everything's working properly, looking good. So in the mornings when I get up, I turn my lamp checker on. If you can watch, it goes through a cycle. It shows you that all your lights are working. So give a second there. There's the running lights. There's the signal light, left turn. And come in the back, it'll give you brake lights, all that stuff. So on the super singles, it's real easy to see if you got a flat because it'll be flat. So I just check the tread, look over it, see if there's any gashes or leaks or anything like that. Make sure I still got my mud flaps on. I know it's kind of dark out here. My dog is doing his peeing on the tire thing. Left signal, right signal, everything's good. Tiger lights on. I wanted to do something about this front tire here pretty soon. It's still okay, it's just it looks a little dry rotted, and parts of this retread's starting to delaminate a little bit. I have to keep an eye on that if it gets any worse. Always waiting on a dog. And this is not a technical full pre-trip, but it makes sure all my lights are going and my tires are all good to go. I'll get in the truck and I'll do a leak down test on the air system. I'm listening for air leaks and stuff like that. And later today, when I get fuel, I'll open the hood and I'll check the oil and all that. And I do, I'm checking everything at least once a day. It's just not all at once. See how good my dog is trained? That's it. Now we got air pressure built up. I'll go ahead and kill the truck. And do what it's called a stab check, where first I'm going to roll down my window a little bit so I can hear if there's any major air spewing. What you want to do is push the brake to the floor. You watch your air pressure and you listen. I usually can tell right away if there's a major leak, but you want to do this for 30 seconds or so. It's about how long a DOT officer is going to make you do it. And make sure your air pressure isn't dropping. it looks pretty good. I've had this trailer for about a week now, so I know it's in pretty good shape. Like I say, that's not a full pre-trip, but it's enough that I know it's safe to go down the road, because I've checked over the truck and trailer over the last few days several times, and there's nothing new on it since the last time I looked at it. I haven't hit anything or anything, so I call that good enough. And when I get fuel, I'll open the hood and check the oil. I got good oil pressure. You know, the thing's not overheating or anything, so we'll hit the road. And say I don't have GoPros yet, so I'll just try to pull out my phone from time to time and record kind of what I'm doing. And for now, it's on. Oh, here, let me show you what I gotta do on my tablet here. Once I'm done with my pre-trip, let me wipe this lens off. So I'm done with the pre-trip. I gotta go in here and push pre-trip inspection. See, it asks you to, these are all the things you're supposed to check. And I check those kinda. You know, you're listening for air leaks and stuff like that. You know, steering, tires. I'll check all that stuff later on down the road when I've gotten, when I get to a truck stop and get fuel. Because I gotta be standing out there anyway. I'm something rather than standing waiting on fuel. So I don't like wasting time, man. You know, sitting here and spend 40 minutes checking over my truck when I checked it out less than 24 hours ago. And then later on today, do the same thing again, because I'm going to be sitting at a fuel stop waiting for these fuel tanks to fill up. They take anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to fill up, and it's 100 and something gallons. So I pop the hood, check the fluids, check the belts, check the steering components, suspension components, brakes, all that stuff. I'll do a walk around of that one of these days. I'm sure if if you are truck drivers, you know what you got to check. But tires look good, lights are all working, don't hear any air leaks. I'm gonna hit the road, get on down to Baton Rouge, get this thing delivered, and go from there. Well, it had to start the moment. I want to put the seatbelt on before it beeps it anymore. I have to go get out and go walking this shit. It's been nice and warm for weeks and weeks, and finally get to the destination here in Baton Rouge, and it's just pouring down rain. Oh well, part of it, I guess. Well, I got that final stop in Baton Rouge delivered, and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Ooh, that water's deep. Doggos are not going to want to get out in that. Stay here, buddy. Sorry. Receiver wouldn't let me park there. They didn't have the room for me. So I dug around on the app I used to find truck stops. Ooh, I hooked that sucker good. Oh no, it's not. It's not too bad. Anyhow, there's like 15 places around Baton Rouge to park, but none of them are very big. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody else is parking. You know, thankfully I've got a little bit of experience. I know I'm not going to go to any of those big name truck stops because they're all going to be packed. What we got here? Got some leftovers that they couldn't get rid of. What is it? Well, sometimes it's not perishable. You just have a lucky day. They left it out here sitting because it seems perishable. What is it? Oh no, it's not. It's gravy, isn't it? No, it's lemonade. Man, that's a fucking score and a half. They left it out here to get thrown away. That's the only reason they leave shit out here behind their trucks. It's pink lemonade. Country time pink lemonade. I'm gonna take a couple handfuls of this stuff since it's just trash. It's all sealed up. Oh, ain't no harm. That's cool. I'm just gonna take a couple of these. Stay decent. Oh, so what we got here? Pink lemonade rosada. 2 gallons per package here. Can't complain about free shit, and that's something about trucking industry a lot of people don't know is sometimes these shippers will refuse perfectly good stuff. This stuff is dry, probably ain't been out there but a day or so, and truck drivers just have to find ways to get rid of it, and sometimes they're real lazy and they just leave the shit laying behind their truck or their truck stop on the pallet still. Put this stuff in here. It'll have me some lemonade for months and months. I'd have taken more, but I just don't have the space for it. Took what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 2. That's 18 gallons of pink lemonade. I think that'll do me. I don't drink a lot of that stuff, so that'll probably last me a year or two. Come on, buddy. Oh, let me get that leash off you. You ain't getting out there with that deep water. I know you. He's a big baby. He's a big baby like that. Hi, buddy. Can I get smooches? Can I get smooches? Get smooch? Oh, thank you. It's a good smoochies. It's a good smoochers. His name is Diesel, by the way. He's my navigator. Keeps me sane. I was on the road for a long time just by myself and go through some pretty severe bouts of depression with that stuff. So having no puppers around helps keep my mind right. Gives me something to do besides toil around in my truck, twiddling my thumbs. You know, I play guitar, you know, that helped a little bit, but anyhow, let me get back to the story. I got interrupted because I found some treasure. Anyway, they won't let me park at the receiver, and I got about 5 hours to kill before I can go pick up that next load, and they won't let me in there early either, so had to find some parking. At this time of night, that can be tricky, especially in a big city. And Baton Rouge not huge, but it's a big trucking hub in the south here. And there's not a lot of truck stops, and the ones that are around are real small. This one's pretty small. But you know, I got a decade under my belt, so I know better than to go to the Loves down the road, because that's where all these rookies are gonna go. So I found this little mom and pop just on the south side of Baton Rouge here. And sure enough, there's 2 or 3 spaces left here. It's pretty tight parking, but it ain't nothing somebody that knows what they're doing can't handle. So I got about 5 hours to kill. I'll go pick up that next load, and I'll have just enough time to pick it up and get to another truck stop, and then I'll take a 10-hour break and get some sleep. I might get a little sleep here, probably not. I've only been up for 4 or 5 hours. There ain't no way I'm gonna go to sleep, so I'll probably sit here and watch some TV, maybe do some editing on these videos. At the rate I'm going, I might get way more than 1 or 2 videos out a week because I just keep finding reasons to record and talk about stuff. Now, I think as the time goes on, I'm not going to have as much to talk about because I don't want to be super repetitive and talk about what's going on. But as I'm getting into this, and I'm finding, it's like, well, you know, this might be some information you might like to know. So this is kind of some of the stuff we deal with as truck drivers. So we go deliver these loads, and then the next load has to pick up somewhere else at a certain time, and you've only got a certain amount of time you can do all that stuff in, and it's up to the planners to try to plan around that the best they can. Sometimes they don't do a very good job at it. This next load coming up is going to be a little tricky, but I'll talk about that as it comes. So you get unloaded, and they can't have you hanging around on the lot because they got a bunch of other trucks coming in and they need the space. So basically it's get lost and figure it out. And some of these cities like Chicago, when that happens, I mean, you can drive 50 miles out of town looking for parking. I mean, that's a little bit extreme, but I mean, unless you want to go into Indiana around Gary and park in that, pardon my French, but crap hole, it's like the deadliest city in America for like several years on. I don't know if it's still that way, but it was like the murder capital of America for a while. It's not a fun place to hang out. You got a couple of big truck stops though, if you don't mind lot lizards, which I don't really like that term. They're humans, but they're prostitutes coming knocking on your door asking if you want to have a good time. And I'm like, no, please go away. But that can be dangerous. I can tell that story later. I told a prostitute to go on, and I guess I'll tell it now. Told a prostitute she just jumped in my truck. I forgot to lock the door. I was in St. Louis, and I was sitting in the back of the truck picking around on my guitar, and all of a sudden the truck moves. And now I'd been backed into a couple times sitting in the parking lot, so that's what I thought happened. I had my headphones on. I was using an app on my phone to give my acoustic guitar sound effects, so I had my headphones on, and all of a sudden the truck went whoo, and I popped out to see what was going on. There's this lady in a short gold like sequins mini skirt prowling around through my shit. I'm like, can I help you? And she's like, oh, you ain't Bob? Nope, I'm not Bob, just please go. Oh, you know, I thought that you were Bob, and I was looking for Bob, and I was like, I'm not Bob, have a nice day, please go. And I knew who she was, and I knew what she was doing, but I was like, and she just kept arguing with me. She didn't want to get out of the truck. I was like, look, I don't want to get in your way, you know, I don't want to hassle you too much, but you need to get out of my truck now. And she kept trying to talk to me. I finally said, ma'am, if you don't get out of my truck, I'm going to call the police. It's like, you haven't stolen anything from me. I don't want to call the cops, but you need to go. And she says, oh, don't do that. I'm a hoe. Well, I know you are. I don't care. It's your life. You're of age. You know, she's probably in her 30s. It's your life. You do what you want to do, but you need to get out of my truck. She finally got out. And about 5-10 minutes later, somebody comes banging on the side of the truck door. Boom, 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 boom. And they did this for about 5 minutes, and I knew what they were. I knew it was her pimp. I was like, I didn't have any weapons in here. I didn't have any way to defend myself. As far as I knew, he was strapped. So I felt like the biggest punk in the world. I had to sit here and hope he didn't just start shooting. I called the police. He left about 2 minutes before the police showed up. And the cops were like, did you lock your door? I was like, yeah, I forgot. There's nothing we can do about it. He's like, yeah, I know. He was here when I called you. He's gone now. I'm going to move to the next truck stop so he didn't come back and mess with me. She's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. That was the end of it. That's one of the reasons I decided to get big old Poochers here. I mean, he's a good 70-pound bud. Let me see them snarlers. Let me see them snarlers. I mean, he's not mean, but he's a scary enough looking dog to somebody that's trying to do harm, and he's tough. And I think he'd bite somebody if somebody tried to break in and mess with me in any kind of way. Got a little bit of something on my shirt there. Anyway, I got many stories. I stop rambling so much, and I'm just going to chill here for a while, and I'll update you later.